Welcome to the Modern Savvy CPA, where financial expertise meets the cutting edge of digital age. I'm Sharon, your host, a certified public accountant, here to guide you through the intricate web of numbers and regulations, offering a fresh perspective of the ever-evolving world of finance. So having a budget or having control of your money does not necessarily mean that you have to constantly be looking for saving every penny and overlooking the bigger money picture. You need to understand that, having control of your money does not mean you need to be a penny pincher, does not mean that you need to pick cheapness over service. You need to understand that everyone needs to live and we have enough. There's not a scarcity of money. People think there's a scarcity of money. There's not a scarcity of money. It's how we handle money that is the issue, and what our money mindset is the issue, and how to reverse that money mindset is the issue. So it's not about, penny pinching. It's not about, gypping someone for services and getting the most out of your service where you're not being kind to the person that's servicing you. I see this all the time with my culture. We tend to look for the cheapest way out, the cheapest way to do something. So I'm going to have to tell you, for one, I am not a cheap person and I do not like being cheap. Frugal, on the other hand, I have lots of frugal money habits that I work with. So I am going to discuss that with you today. Number one, everybody has to make a living. So don't penny Annie the plumber. Don't get me wrong. When I had things that I needed to do in my house, I did get 3 different quotes. I did have an idea. I did do my research to understand what it is going to be costing to redo my shower. But I am not going to penny Annie my cheapest quote to give me something else, because trust me, that person's mindset, he's not going to do the best job for you, and you're going to end up paying more for it in the long run. So you want to make sure that you're paying what is the right amount due to that person, and don't make that person have adverse feelings about you, just like you're putting, he's going to put an emotion on you that is not going to be nice compared to the emotions we put on money. So don't make money the king for you. Understand that everybody has to make a living. Respect the people that are doing work for you. Respect other people's money. Don't make it look like, you're the only one. It's your money and you're going to penny Annie a person until you get that thing for the dirt cheap price, because it is not going to work out in the long run, and it is not a way to live in society. I am in a service industry, and I believe that everybody needs to make a living. Everybody's an expert in something. That's why I hire them. That's why people hire me, and it costs to be an expert in something. With that said, having a budget and having control of your money doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be cheap. While being frugal is an admirable trait, being cheap and making cheap choices might seem smart in the short run, but will cost you more in the long run. You need to make sure that you understand that, your money, your time, and your quality of life all goes together. And in the long run, you want to be able to have your money, your time, and your quality of life. So let's put minding your money with frugal habits and not being penny wise and dollar foolish. So, in the British culture, they call it penny wise and pound foolish because a pound is like $1. So in America, I'm going to say, don't be penny wise and dollar foolish. Meaning be frugal and careful in your money management and your spending of your money. What does the origins of frugal mean? It means being useful, proper, worthy, honest, temperate, economically to enjoy, useful and profitable. That's what frugal means. So there's the bad connotations on being frugal. Throw those out. Being frugal are those things. Being cheap, on the other hand, that's where the bad connotation means. It means wanting the lowest price. It means inferiority. Inferiority. Cheap is inferior. Not all the time, but when the meaning of the word or the originance of the word is inferior. Showy imitation. Complete unworthiness, sometimes. So you want to make sure that you're not only buying things because of the price, because it's a low price, because the cheapest does not mean that you're getting the best for your money. And you always want to get for the best for your money. You don't want to be cheap and get the lowest price always. You want to get the best for your money while respecting our society and what our society's is and what our society's gifts are, because their gifts that they're sharing with you, just like your gifts are your gifts that you share with other people, and you don't want those people to do that to you. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on low cost instead of the needs. It's a mistake. It's a mistake, and it's not good for your finance, because in the long run, you're going to end up paying more to fix what your mistake is. Society also targets us. Marketing also targets us on these things. They know that we are cheap. So they're going to say 75% off this. We have a coupon for that, and they're going to get you most of the time to buy all this stuff that you don't need. That is a waste of money. I cannot tell you how many things are in my garage that my husband buys because he works for retail that I never see because it's in my garage. When we were moving, we had decorations for Christmas that could decorate 10 houses and 20 Christmas trees that he bought that we had to give all away because I can't see what he's buying, and I'm not looking at every single thing that he spends. He has his budget. He has to work within it. What he spends it on, that's his thing. So, you want to make sure that you understand if something is $4.99, if you're going to get a pants for $4.99, that's what he always tells me. It's only $5. Are you ever going to use that? And is it going to be stuck in his closet under the 100 other pants that he has? He doesn't even know he has it. So how is that helpful? It's still a waste of $4.99 if it's going to be stuck there. The other thing that we do that is a frugal habit that is actually cheap, in my opinion, is we buy in bulk. And that habit, we think we're being cheap, but we end up buying things that we don't really need. We buy in bulk. So let's think about that. You're buying, are you going to use all those vitamins that you're buying before it expires? Are you going to use that 8-pound carrot before it spoils? So I'm not saying that buying at Costco and BJ's is not worth it sometimes, but you have to be choosy about what you're buying and be smart about whether you're going to use it. Tell yourself the truth about whether you're going to use certain things or not. So buying in bulk is not always a good thing for your money. So consider whether it's worth it or not. You don't want to buy a case of vitamins or a case of pasta sauce that's going to expire in 6 months, and then you're going to have to throw it away because it's going to cost you more than buying that one pasta that you're going to really need. Another thing that we do with our cheap habits that we think that are good for us is driving to different stores to do that. Consider whether the gain on doing that is from driving from store to store, whether it's your time, your money, your gas. Is that a good idea or not? Instead of, if you add up all of that, you'll figure out that sometimes the wear and tear on your car, the gas, the time, the cost of your time ends up costing more than just getting everything at one place. The other thing that we do that is a cheap habit is we drive far for gas. So if, for example, if you're going to drive somewhere to save 15 cents a gallon on gas and you need 18 gallons of gas, you can save there possibly, depending on if you're filling up twice a week or not, almost $280 a year. But you have to also think whether that savings is worth your time, whether the gas, is worth the wear and tear on your car. You need, are you actually filling up twice a week? How often do you fill up? So, you need to think about that. The other thing that you need to think about is doing home improvements yourself or getting cheap labor. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day that was telling me about her husband who lives in this huge mansion, and he's building this really big, he wanted to build this grand water fountain in front of the mansion. So he decides he's going to get some day laborers to help him. Now, he ends up having a big water main leak in his front yard. And because of course the day laborers, you have to direct them. They don't know what they're doing. They're not experts. It has to do with the water. They're not the expert in that field. He ends up spending 3 times as much to fix the water main, not even getting his fountain yet. So don't have that cheap habit about, thinking that you're going to spend less. In the long run, you end up spending more than it costs you to fix it. So, sometimes it costs to get a professional. Be respectful of your professionals. They do a job well done. They understand what it takes. In the long run, it's going to work out. So look at understanding that, you're not going to get gypped. Make sure you get your 3 estimates. Make sure you understand what type of material they're using. Decide whether you can afford to use a material or not. For example, we're refacing our pool. We need to decide whether we can use travertine, we need to use concrete, or we can get something else that's going to work better for our pool. And then there's a vast difference between the price of these 3 things. We want to resurface our pool. We need to look at which one we can afford and be understanding, getting an estimate to see what it really costs. So you need to be cognizant of these things and use professionals, The last but not least thing we need to talk about our cheap habits is don't totally deprive yourself. Enjoy the things you love. You will not get rich from buying a $5 coffee. So don't deprive yourself from something you enjoy from time to time. Again, it's a balance. Instead of having coffee out every day, try to have your coffee. Treat yourself on certain days that you're going out. Then you can look forward to those treats. Don't make it $5 coffee every single day, because that's going to break your budget. So this is the Modern Savvy CPA talking about it's okay to be frugal, because frugal things are enjoyable, but do not be cheap, because cheap can end up costing you more in the long run. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, feel free to give me a follow to get updated on new and upcoming episodes, and listen in every Tuesday and Thursday, where I teach you smart money habits so you can make better money choices with a financial goal focus.